call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Let's go! I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, gotta feel the tension. In my thoughts.
Welcome back, everybody. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. And of course, if you want to support the channel, join the membership. There's exclusive perks. But today we're going to be going over what I think. When I really was first thinking about who was going to be the number 3 receiver on this team, I was thinking it was going to be Braxton Berrios, but Robbie Chosen definitely started really showcasing in OTAs and the mini camps that he was really balling. Now, of course, you know, the whole entire situation of don't wait or wait until training camp and pads come on. That's when you really see what the players are made of. And what's starting to happen right now, brother, is that Robbie Chosen is kind of like silent. Like he just hasn't been doing the same stuff that he was doing without the pads. And who's been really coming on with pads on is Braxton Berrios. And it's exactly what I was talking about. There's a video in the past, forgot which one it was, but I know there's a video in the past where I was talking about it's the perfect marriage when you have Braxton Berrios and his coach is Wes Welker. You got to think about this combination in that Wes Welker is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He is 5'9", 180-ish, 190, and he was one of the best route runners in history of the game. That's how he would get open. He knew, he was smart, all these different things. Braxton Berrios, which I said in a different video, is almost the same exact person, where he's good at route running, he's smart, he does all these things, 5'9". I think he's a little bit bigger than Wes Welker is, and also I think he's a little bit faster. And you have Wes Welker coaching him to be the best wide receiver. And why I was saying this in the other video, where again I was wrong before, because I think I was saying that Chosen, because of, you know, what he was doing in minicamp, that he was going to be the number 3. But now what we're seeing is that not just is Wes Welker doing a great job with Braxton Berrios, but dude, Tua and Braxton are starting to meld together. And to be honest, that's something that Tua never had last year. You know, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are his guys, but usually some players like Patrick Mahomes and all these other different guys, they have their tight ends or slot receiver to just get the ball out, you know, when there's pressure or something along those lines, where last year Tua, most of his plays were going down the field for 15 yards, which you need time for that. He never really had a guy that could just figure out the zone with him and just sit, which, you know, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill do, but they're more on those longer routes because they're on the boundary. Having Braxton Berrios in the slot, it's going to be key for this team. And it's just based on the fact that this guy is smart. He knows where to sit in zones, and his route running. If you watch some of the scrimmage and some of the training camp, you just see his route running prowess. I mean, he makes you look dumb when he comes out of the break. And that's something that we didn't have last year. You know, I think with Trent Sherfield, he wasn't really a great route runner per se. He just, you know, he was the third guy. He would take most of the snaps, but, you know, he wasn't like Braxton Berrios. And I think a lot of people are not considering what we could have in Braxton, where you have that Wes Welker type of guy, which was a staple for Tom Brady for so many years. I mean, you really want to talk about his key guy. Both of them were slot receivers, Julian Edelman and Wes Welker. Both of them were slot guys. And he even had Amendola at one point. All of the guys that help the quarterbacks out are their slot receivers. Of course, you have the dudes that go down the field, and, you know, that's going to happen with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I'm not saying that we're not going to launch the ball deep down the field. You saw in the scrimmage that there are plenty of plays where we're going to launch the ball down the field. But having Braxton Berrios, having a slot receiver that understands coverages, that is great at route running, and that runs the short to intermediate routes, mostly short, and can get open and create in space, that is another weapon that is going to really just accelerate Tua's actual on-field prowess and his confidence in his team. You know, he doesn't have to launch the ball. Again, Devon Achane's another subject where he's going to catch the ball out of the backfield, but you have a guy that will give Tua his little safety blanket that he hasn't really had too much before. Like I said, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, they are there, but they're a lot more for explosive plays, which is, I think, why we got Braxton and why we were trying to get a slot receiver, is that you have a guy that is the safety blanket that Tua can just kind of dump it out to. They are on the same connection. You know, you're looking at the scrimmage and you'll see that they have this connection where they know what each other wants to do in a short span of time. And it's just going to be exciting to see that Braxton Berrios, I mean, if you watch him, he hasn't really ever played with a good quarterback. So he has the potential. He just never had a good quarterback. You know, that's a big deal. It's the same thing as a receiver to a quarterback. Tua never had really good receivers. Now he has good receivers. Well, it's the same thing for a receiver. If you don't have a quarterback that can figure out coverages and get you the ball, well, it's going to be tough to actually do what you need to do, you know, especially when you're not 6'4", you know, because some quarterbacks, they just throw the ball up to some receivers. When you're short, sometimes you need a quarterback that's going to understand, all right, there's a little hole in the zone right here. If you hit it to me, I'm going to be open. It's going to be something that is going to change Tua's whole talent level right now, because you have a guy that is going to understand the coverages just as much as he understands them, with two elite receivers on the outside. So now it's going to be even easier for Braxton to get open. I know we looked at the scrimmage and, you know, Tua kind of took his hold of the team and said how disappointed he was with himself and the rest of the team members. And, you know, what we're seeing right now is Vic Fangio is the guy. So having a Braxton Berrios is going to help him against these types of defenses. It's going to help Tua. And I'm really pushing. I think Braxton Berrios is going to be the number 3 guy. I think he's going to be the dude that gives Tua that comfortability that he's never had before. So now that we're seeing, I think he just has the dog in him. You know, he's shorter. He's not as big as most of the other guys. He doesn't have those natural talents. He knows what he's doing to get plays on the field. So I really don't see him giving this up. I think Chosen has kind of showed the whole technicality point of, you know, don't believe it until the pads come on. He's really showed that, because he's kind of disappeared in this whole entire training camp session. I don't even know what's going on, you know, with him. Haven't heard about him. And honestly, I've heard more about River Craycraft at this point than I have Robbie Chosen. So I think Braxton Berrios has secured the number 3 slot. I think he's going to keep it. I don't think anybody's going to take it from him, because just the talent level and the coaching and what he has. That's why River Craycraft is doing good too, because again, Wes Wilker, that's the type of coach that he is. He has these perfect guys that are basically just like him. And like I said, I think Braxton Berrios has secured the number 3 spot, and I think we're going to have a bunch of, it's exactly what Mike McDaniel wanted, having a bunch of playmakers on the field, and you just don't know where the ball's going, and it's going to be so confusing for defenses. And I love having Braxton Berrios as that slot guy. I think he's going to do fantastic. I think he's got all the talent in the world, and I think now you have a good quarterback and a good coach that can put you in the right scheme, whereas he didn't have that before. You had crappy coaching, crappy quarterbacks. He's going to excel. And I think he's going to be one of the surprise candidates for a breakout coming into this year. And he's going to get Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle open, because it's going to force the defense to spread itself even more. Just want to make a quick video kind of discussing agent number 0. But as always, hope you have a great rest of your day. Fins up, baby. Peace.